You did it. The job, the relationship, the peace you spent years quietly begging for, everything is exactly as it should be. And then, almost on cue, something shifts. You pick a fight over nothing. You skip the habits that got you here. You feel this strange, hollow anxiety you cannot name, cannot explain, cannot shake. Nothing went wrong. Everything went right. So why does your body feel like it's bracing for the fall? Let me tell you about a couple. 2 years of learning each other, therapy, hard conversations, and finally, a trip they'd promised themselves, 7 days. The south of France. No deadlines, no tension, just warmth and wine and each other. Day 6. Genuinely perfect. And on the drive back to the airport, he says something small. She says something back. By the time they land, there's a wall between them so thick you could knock on it. They blame the travel, the exhaustion, the stress of returning to normal life. But what if the fight had nothing to do with any of that? What if the perfection itself pulled the trigger? A psychologist named Gay Hendricks spent decades watching his patients destroy good things, not in failure, in success. The artist who collapsed with a mysterious illness the week after her best show. The entrepreneur who made a catastrophic decision the exact moment his company broke through. He called it the upper limit problem. The idea is this: every one of us carries an internal thermostat, calibrated in childhood, mostly without our knowing, that sets how much love, success, and joy we are permitted to feel, not consciously, deeply, like a setting that was never meant to be touched. When life rises above that setting, when things get too good, the brain doesn't celebrate, it panics. And it reaches for the one thing it knows how to do: manufacture chaos, lower the temperature, come home. But why? Why would the brain treat good news like a threat? In 2016, researchers at University College London ran a simple, brutal experiment. They gave participants mild electric shocks while they played a computer game. And they found something that should stop you cold. Knowing you were definitely going to be shocked was less stressful than not knowing. Certain pain felt safer than uncertain safety. Because the brain, above everything else, needs to predict. And when life gets unfamiliar, even beautifully, wonderfully unfamiliar, the nervous system reads it as danger, not triumph. Danger. Brené Brown calls what happens next foreboding joy. You're holding something you love, a sleeping child, a perfect morning, the person who chose you, and your mind immediately fast forwards to the worst. Not because you're pessimistic, because you are, for one unguarded moment, completely exposed. And the brain will not stay exposed without sounding an alarm. So it rehearses the tragedy before life can surprise you with it. And Dostoevsky, writing in the 1860s, somehow already knowing all of this, said something even darker: give a man a perfect paradise, and he will burn it to the ground. Not from stupidity, but from a desperate, aching need to prove he holds the match, that he is free, that he chose this, that the story belongs to him. Here is the thing no one tells you. You are not self-destructive because you are weak. You are not anxious because something is broken in you. You are running a very old program, written long before this life, long before this version of you, by a brain that learned early that comfort is a trap, that joy is exposure, that the higher you climb, the further the fall. It doesn't know the war is over. And the cruelest part? The closer you get to the life you actually want, the louder it screams. So the question isn't, why do I keep destroying what I build? The question is, how much happiness are you actually willing to tolerate? Not how much you deserve, not how much you've earned. How much can you sit with before your own hands reach for the match? That's the ceiling. And somewhere on the other side of it is the whole rest of your life.